Hey guys, it's me. I know I haven't been on actually on the computer for a while. My children have been overtaking everything and doing Roblox runs every single night with their friends, so I have not been able to actually make any videos. But it is, as you can see by the screen right in front of me, right next to me, right in that general area that you can see maybe right there, Humble Choice. It's obviously the games from Humble Monthly, Humble Bundle that you can get for their subscription cost. Obviously mine's cheaper because I've got the classic plan. I've talked about this every month. If you don't do this, you probably should. Specifically if you have Steam, a lot of these games are amazing. So, let's jump in and see what the August games are. So, we've got Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. This is your basic Castlevania-like game. It's actually made by some of the original Castlevania creators. So this is the full game experience. So that means it comes with any other DLC or anything else like that. It's an exploration-based side-scroller action RPG packing all the best features you've come to know and love from the Metroidvania genre into a single, content-packed game. Obviously, lots and lots of good gameplay. Heralded as one of the better Metroidvania-type games that come in a long time. Very reminiscent of Symphony of the Night, as they say. So if you like those sorts of games, I would say this is a great choice immediately, right off the bat. I haven't played it yet, but obviously now that I do, I will play it. This is probably going to be the best game on this list so far. This is the AAA title they put on here. So, I mean, it's still worth quite a bit. But let's move on to the next game. All right. So we've got Last Oasis. This is presented by Humble Bundle. It is Last Oasis, a nomadic survival MMO. Earth has stopped rotating and the last human survivors need to outrun the scorching sun in a massive open world. Traverse the world on your walker, a wooden, wind-powered machine inspired by Theo Johnson's amazing Strand Beasts. Walkers are mobile bases that can be adapted for travel, transportation, harvesting, and combat. Personalize your walker to fit your needs with a multitude of structures, attachments, and upgrades. Well, that sounds cool, but I'm not so hip on the MMO part. Like, that would be an interesting thing to do for non-MMO, but you do have melee and walker PvP combat, probably some PvE as well. There is a solo experience. This would be the only reason I would play this. Individual small groups of players have as many opportunities as clans to prosper. Clans might control territories and lead the economy, but cunning traders, skilled mercenaries, agile hunters, and pirates will find niches that better suit solo play. While solo play will always be a viable playstyle, social features like voice chat make it easy to meet new friends and team up to kill some of the largest creatures. So that's pretty interesting. If you are someone who likes multiplayer games and have a good multiplayer lifestyle where you have friends, this might be a great game for you. I don't have anybody that really plays with me, but it looks really good. Next game up is Subliminal. This game looks really interesting. I've actually watched 2 different people play it before. It is a first-person puzzler that bases itself on like a 3D environment where things will go differently based on perspective. So what that means is that, well, let's use Mr. Skull. So, you know, Mr. Skull Jerry here As you move the item away from you, the item gets bigger because obviously towards the camera space where the eye is at, the item is bigger. Now you can let it go, and that's how big the item is in that relative space. Now if you move it away from the camera, the item is actually smaller. And if you let it go there, the item in its original space is that size. And that's how you solve a lot of the puzzles. Please excuse the coughing. I have been mucused. So, great puzzle game. If you like sort of puzzle games like that, this is something that's really interesting, very surreal. Puzzles aren't too hard to understand. But unless you understand kind of forced perspective or really get into the way the game is played, they might hit you every now and then. All right, next game we have is Out of Space. All right. Out of Space is a local and online co-op multiplayer game about living together in a house in space. So that's kind of interesting. It's different. It's kind of like Overcooked, but you're in an apartment in space. It looks like. So each match, so their matches starts in a procedurally generated spaceship house that will demand your best planning and teamwork skills to become clean and comfy. You and your friends will need to generate resources, recycle trash and alien goo, buy and build new technologies, and take care of one another if you ever want to call home the mess that you got into. Don't look at my house. My house right now looks just horribly done in by children. But this may be up your alley. Again, if you have friends to play online. Next up, we got We Need to Go Deeper. Hey, guess what? It's another multiplayer game. It is a 2 to 4 player online co-op game, which is really cool. I don't have this one. I have Barotrauma, which is basically a game that came out after this one, which is it's kind of the same thing. You're in a submarine. Every person on your crew does something as you go deeper and deeper and deeper into the ocean, trying to find weird treasures and creatures and adventure and all sorts of, habitats. I think it's kind of like almost like a roguelike, but not really, because these games are meant to be kind of short played, because nobody, these games are not like meant to be played for longer than like an hour with your friends. They're not like Raft, which is meant to be a long-lasting game. These are meant to be kind of like short and sweet. You get to a point and you die horribly. So you got to try over and try over. But yeah, obviously right here it says roguelike. If I would have read that, we would get past that point. So, next game. Carto. All right. You are a cartographer. Interesting. So Carto is a charming adventure game wrapped around a unique, world-altering puzzle mechanic. Use this power to explore mysterious lands, help a quirky cast of characters, and guide Carto on her journey back to her family. Separated from her granny during a storm, young Carto must use her innate cartography powers to map and manipulate the world around her on her quest to be reunited. As she discovers new pieces of the game map, players can rearrange them to shape the levels themselves, unlocking new paths, puzzles, and story moments. That sounds really interesting. A game like this, I would not want to be very long. I would want this to be like maybe a 2-hour experience. Just because of how it's kind of set up. But this might be a really interesting adventure game with a solid mechanic of world building. I might play this. Of course, I say that every month, and there are still loads of games in my library that I have not played yet. Yeah. So, oh. Okay. As far as the eye. So, this one looks to be sort of a strategy game. Interesting. I like the artistic aspect so far. I really like that. Oh, and there's war. I mean, because, you know, war. War never changes. So, wake up, swell up, get up, sigh. It is time to bring back to me the pupils scattered throughout the world and to guide them. Do not worry, they will recognize you as soon as they feel your breath on their faces. As soon as they see their woolen clothes spinning, they will understand because they are waiting for you. Caress their feet, carry their bodies, lift their spirit, and instill hope and perseverance in them. Do not skimp on the gusts that will make them realize that the road is long and that it must continue, always, as far as I. You play as the wind, guiding the pupils, a tribe that must reach the center of the world. You'll have to manage their resources, their buildings, and their lives. Help them grow wiser through agriculture, crafting, scientific, and mystical research before the world is submerged. Be careful, though. You have to manage your tribe perfectly and make sure they're not starving or taken by surprise by the waters. This game is a nomadic, turn-based city builder. Begin a procedurally generated journey and survive halt after halt as far as the eye. That actually sounds pretty dope. That sounds really interesting. I probably will definitely play that. You get new tribes and new regions thanks to a roguelike system. There's a campaign. Alright. Live a peaceful adventure as there are no enemies and as far as the eye. Okay. Huh. That sounds pretty good, and it looks pretty good. This might be one of the games that I will play for the channel. We've got Cephas Protocol. This looks like a first-person shooter. The Pango virus has been unleashed in San Francisco, turning thousands of innocent lives into mindless beasts that feel no pain and have no fear of death. With each passing hour, the Pango virus evolves, creating new and ever more horrific mutations with one goal in mind: spread. All right, you are Captain Winter, a military officer fighting alongside the Center of Epidemic Research and Control, CERC. With the massive arsenal and resources of the U.S. government behind it, you and CERC will stop at nothing to ensure the terror of the Pango virus does not escalate beyond containment, even if a whole city and millions of lives must be sacrificed. Oh, okay, so this is inspired by classic real-time strategy games such as Company of Heroes and World in Conflict, alongside the book World War Z. Okay. Okay, I thought it was a first-person shooter, but it obviously is not. It is a real-time strategy game based on the World War Z mythos. So, that sounds interesting. Next up, we have Drake Hollow. I have actually seen this. It really seemed interesting, but it is also a co-op game. You can play it solo, but again, it's based on co-op. Having followed the call of a mysterious crow, you find yourself trapped in the Hollow, a shattered mirror of our world plagued by a mysterious source of evil. Your only way home is to rescue the Drakes, rebuild their home, and drive out the enemies that have ruined their world. Explore, build, and thrive together in this third-person co-op survival building adventure. Again, if I had friends to play with, I would definitely play this game. It seems really cool. Though I did hear it was rather short and the survival build mechanics were kind of wonky. But still a very solid game. Obviously with 80%. Next up, we've got the Nowhere Prophet. Okay, so this is basically like Cult Simulator, but with armies to fight, right? Yeah. Okay. So, build a loyal band of followers and survive the journey across a broken world. Barely. Take on the role of a powerful leader and mystic empowered with the gifts of technopathy, the ability to sense and affect electrical currents. You are the last hope to a band of outcasts and refugees. Lead them across the randomly generated wastelands. Pick fights with greedy slavers and crazy machines using the turn-based card combat. Can you survive long enough to reach the mysterious crypt? Alright, it's a roguelike deck-building game. I'd play it. I like to play roguelikes, as you know if you've watched the channel. So I'll probably post something like this up too. This sounds really interesting. Okay. Next up we have Blue Fire. Oh, this is... I've heard small bits of this. It's supposed to be kind of like Zelda. Legend of Zelda stuff. So, journey through the desolated kingdom of Penumbra and discover the hidden secrets of this long-forgotten land. Explore mystical temples where you'll need to master the art of movement to survive increasingly difficult 3D platforming challenges. During your adventure, you'll slash your way through daunting adversaries, encounter survivors, and take on strange quests to collect valuable items. Hardcore platforming. Okay. And that. Haunting World. Peculiar survivors. Collectibles and upgrades. So yeah, it's your basic 3D world with platforming skills, it looks like. Alright. Interesting. May not be something that I might regularly play, but if I get bored, you never know. Of course, all these games, if you want to see what they're like being played, just let me know in the comments, and I'll load it up, hopefully that day for you. Oh, I like this. Oh, but this is a GOG key. Good thing I have GOG. Encodia. Oh, that art style. I like it. Alright, so we have Neo Berlin. 2062. Tina, obviously this little girl, a 9-year-old orphan, lives with Sam, 53, her big, clumsy robot guardian, in a roof-topped makeshift shelter in Neo Berlin, a dark megalopolis controlled by corporations. Tina is an urban jungle kid who has learned to live alone. Scavenging from city dumpsters and eking out a living from scraps, her funny robot is always with her, programmed to protect her no matter what. One day, the little girl discovers that her father left her an important mission: to finish his plan to save the world from grayness. Tina and Sam embark on the incredible adventure across different realities full of bizarre robotic creatures and grotesque human beings. Through puzzles and exciting dialogues, they'll find out the true meaning of being alive. The sweetness and creativity of Studio Ghibli, the setting and atmosphere of Blade Runner, and the humor and game style of Monkey Island. Okay. You had me at Studio Ghibli, so you just made it better by Monkey Island. These are the ingredients that inspire Encodia, a point-and-click adventure game set in a dystopian future. Oh, 2 playable characters? So they're probably couch co-op then. A lot of different characters. I do love the art style, though. I really do. Alright, and those are your games for August, with your extra being retired men's nude beach volleyball. Huh? I don't know. I have no idea, but cheers. Our charity this month is World Reader. So let's take a moment, like I have been doing the past couple of times, to listen to what our charity has to say, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right? Gotta make sure my volume's on first. Always read it. Oh. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That seems like a really interesting thing. Specifically in the age of technology that we have right now, most kids have a cell phone or a laptop or a tablet of some sort, and using this sort of app, they can actually read more stuff. So, there you go, guys. That is our humble choice for the month of August. Let me know in the comments which games you might be interested in playing. Let me know in the comments whether there's a game that you might be interested in watching me play. All of these seem really good. There are a couple that I will definitely play, and there are a couple that I probably won't touch and sit at the bottom of my Steam library, which is steadily growing to a monstrous amount. I had to find a word big enough that would encapsulate the amount of games I have. I just picked up all the Final Fantasy bundle. Just dropped $80 complete right there. Just $80. I only get the first 3 right now, and then they're going to release the next 3, all brand new pixels. I might pop these up on the channel too, because I love Final Fantasy. I have them all. I've been meaning to do like full Final Fantasy playthroughs. Just because Final Fantasy is amazing. But I need to get back into actually playing the games that I haven't been playing lately to alleviate stress. But alright, guys, I'll leave you here. Remember, always be kind to each other. You don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know what they're responding to. You don't know what their life is like. But you know yours. Treat others how you should be treated, how you wanted to be treated. Because they may only get that treatment. And if you can improve their life even by a small little bit, imagine how big it is to them. So until the next time, I'll be here waiting.